Following up on yesterday's video about how Nintendo is kind of a scumbag company, they introduced the concept of the $80 video game. Oh no, bros, that's just for Mario Kart World. Oh, it's just for the one game. It's totally going to be worth it. Trust me. Yeah, sure, whatever cope that you need to have in order to get your Mario Kart fix. But we have also seen, what was it, in the past week or so, Xbox deciding to hop on the bandwagon and go, yeah, the $80 games, that's coming this holiday season. But hey, make sure that you go ahead and, buy Doom the Dark Ages as soon as possible, right? It's not like we're creating any sort of artificial scarcity in order to inflate the price of our games that have been in development for so long. We don't even remember the first time anybody started to work on them. Yeah, so get excited to pay $80 for games like Fable or Perfect Dark remake. I'm sure everybody's lining up for those, but in a moment of clarity, you have, of all companies, EA coming out, okay, and saying that they have no plans to start charging $80 for games. This was the last company I would think of when I thought, not hopping on a trend to steal as much money as possible. But yeah, as is pointed out by the first reply that's under there, EA, when they charge $80 plus, microtransactions instead, which, of course, just about every project that EA has in development, was it the new Skate game? They don't really know what they're going to be doing on that, but all they know is that they're going to be having microtransactions in it. Fucking hilarious, but exactly the type of stuff that EA would do. So yeah, they're definitely going towards the whole razor blade model where they'll go ahead and sell you your game at whatever the standard is. Okay, if they're going to be $70 games, that's what we're going to do. But then on top of that, we're just going to nickel and dime you. We're just going to sell you this stuff piecemeal as much as possible. And those practices from these studios, I think that they're going to get even more predatory, even worse, and it's very much going to hasten the decline of that industry, which is fine. Because you take a look at some successful games that have come out this year, and this one also came out from EA, all right? 4 million copies sold. Not 4 million players, not 4 million interactions, 4 million copies sold. So many of you have picked up Split Fiction already. It's amazing seeing the fun you have had with our game and the love you show for Mio and Zoe. I watched a little bit of this game, and it looks fun as hell, and Hazelight Studios have put out banger after banger after banger after banger, so to see their success and their ingenuity rewarded, it's nice to see. And it's funny, right, because this was also a game that was not full price. I thought, $40 or $50? It was something like that, and it's already been announced that there's going to be a cinematic adaptation with that, starring Sydney Sweeney of all people, which, hey, 2 thumbs up for 2 very obvious reasons on that casting. And another game, which, I got the reference pulled up, so I might as well just go ahead and throw this on the pile as well. You got Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, selling 2 million copies in 12 short days. Another game that has a filmic adaptation on the horizon as well that's already been greenlit. And this was something that was developed for $5 to $10 million that is also selling for a reduced cost, depending on where you're at, $50 or $60, I think $50 USD, and then whatever it transfers out to the rest of the world. So you see where we're kind of going with this one? But these are kind of indie titles, right? Okay, because you got Sandfall Interactive and you got Hazelight Studios. Even though they're owned by EA, this is still a smaller team and a smaller company within a larger company. But now you got something that's just wholesale AAA. Okay, somebody that's owned by Take-Two, operating under 2K. You got the Mafia series. Okay, and this is going to be a full-fledged AAA game of substantive length and material. It's a continuation of a very successful franchise, and it's coming out at $50 USD. August 8th as well. So what are we finding out right here? Well, outside of the whole GTA dropping its trailer and announcing that it's going to be delayed for another 6 months, okay, and get your hands on it, May 26th, 2026. It has opened up a massive gap, and now you're starting to see people plug said gap with the announcement that Old Country is going to be coming out August 8th. You got Cringe Borderlands 4 announcing that, it's going to be coming out early September, something like that. And I can imagine, especially around Summer Games Fest, first week of June, so about a month from now, we're going to be getting a tidal wave of announcements there as well. So, the industry, now that there seems to be some goodwill around gaming, because holy crap, man, there has been, for as many bombs as there have been, okay, to start off the year, there have been some hits to go ahead and offset that, right? Because for every Assassin's Creed Shadows, you can have an Expedition 33. For every Avowed, you got a Split Fiction. And when Nintendo comes out and says that they're going to charge $80 for certain games, and Microsoft is doing the same thing, you got 2K of all companies and EA saying, yeah, we're not going to do 80. And in the case of 2K, yeah, we'll just go ahead and do 50. And oh yeah, the old country will not feature an open world, and it's going to be a linear and narrative-driven game. But oh, I thought those games don't sell. We don't want that stuff anymore. Where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that before? We don't want turn-based games. We don't want something that tells a complex narrative with a bunch of white people. No, no, no. Those games don't sell, right? Yeah, good. Those are not just my favorite games, but when they're released and they're done right, they're wildly successful. And another thing that is being picked up by the industry, Remedy's next big game is being made for less money, but can still be great, the CEO says. Yeah, the head of the studio behind Alan Wake and Control talks to GameFile about Remedy's survival, a key cancellation, and getting game developers to think more about the game business, but not too much. Now, obviously, this is Stephen Totilo, the idiot that helped found Polygon, what was it, like a decade and change ago, but now Polygon's getting folded into another journalism slop house. But this right here, it's pointing out something, okay? Because Remedy, oh yeah, with the release of Alan Wake 2, which is still yet to turn a profit, something wasn't just ruined by hiring Sweet Baby Inc. Like, that game was totally poisoned. But it also cost a pretty penny. So yeah, now they're realizing that, oh shit, yeah, we can make successful games, but we don't have to spend that much money on it. It's almost like the wider industry is starting to learn that, hey, we don't have to gouge our customers. We can go ahead and make the games that we want to make, and we don't have to pay out the nose in order to produce them. Because consistently putting out slop for all of these subscription services, whether it be EA's proprietary one, Ubisoft's proprietary one, or Game Pass itself, yeah, that model's really not working. And this is something that I've talked about before. I've done a video on it before, but to just simply drive this point home that the games industry is changing for the better, might I add. One of the best values in gaming is not sustainable, and we could see it collapsing just like every other tertiary streaming service in the TV and movie space. And now that phenomenon coming over to gaming. U.S. spending on video game subscription services flat since 2021 for 4 years. Analysts warn premium services are not the future of gaming. Yeah, because like I said before, man, and it's a fantastic model for the consumer. But when it's all said and done, okay, if it doesn't work for these companies, unless you're like Xbox with Microsoft money behind you, it's not good business. It really isn't. It sucks, okay? Like, I would love all games to be free, okay? We could go ahead and, start flying a red flag with a yellow hammer and sickle behind us, okay? The games you produce are now our games, comrade. We could go ahead and do that. It's just, it's not viable, kind of like communism. In delivering a crushing blow to the greedy dream of industry higher-ups, a new research has uncovered that American spending on various video game subscription services has completely stagnated, with the amount of players actually willing to pay for them having gone flat over the last 4 years, okay? This fascinating financial tidbit was first shared to the public on April 27th, courtesy of Matt Piscatella, the executive director of video games at noted market research firm Circana. Following the news that PlayStation Plus will be removing 22 games from its free library in June. Really? Didn't hear about that. The 8-year industry revealed that the frustration felt by many towards Sony's wanton handling of their subscription service was not the outlier sentiment among the players of all stripes, but rather the norm. U.S. spending on video game subscriptions has been basically flat for the years following 2020-2021 growth, only boosted by 12% in Q4 thanks to COD being on Game Pass. Wow, Piscatella revealed via his personal Blue Sky account. Subscriptions are certainly not the future of gaming, although they continue to be part of it. Yeah, no, that 100% makes sense. In response to Piscatella's reveal, numerous fans began pouring to share their thoughts on the information. One such user pushed back on the news, declaring, "As a consumer, I'm more than happy to pay for a subscription rather than a $70 or $80 game." Which, yeah, of course, you can play a game for $30, or would you want to take a flyer on it for $70 to $80, which is exactly what my quibble with $70 and $80 games have been. Because there was a point in time when I was just vaguely interested in a game, and either it was full price back when games were 60, I could take a look at it and go, yeah, I'll play it, or wait for a sale for it to be 40 and then just pick it up right then. But this time around, you got your $70 or $80 games and they go on sale and then they're just down there at 60. I'm not willing to do that. Even if I'm really interested in a game, I'll have to wait for a couple years for it to go on sale, because I'm not just forking out money like that, but all of these studios putting out these gigantic budgets on these gigantic games can't wait for picky customers like me, and so they can go ahead and get the quick bag by putting their game on a streaming service like Game Pass, or shacking up with with Ubisoft or EA or any of the other companies out there having a subscription-based service. Now realizing that is short-term money for a long-term problem. If you have any idea or care in the slightest what a schmuck like me has to say, you are absolutely in the super enthusiast price insensitive gamer segment. So sure, I absolutely believe you, said Piscatella, of the person willing to pay for a subscription service and not a $70 or $80 game. Pressed by another as to whether Microsoft's Game Pass is successful enough for Xbox to continue making consoles, which I kind of thought their price increases themselves was very much an indication that we're just going to go with Game Pass because we would just rather have influence and a footprint on in many different homes, as opposed to just simply having our own place to rest our head. And their question prompted a company's recent stumbles regarding the brand. Piscatella opined, "I don't think that the latter relies on the former." Interesting. Interesting revelation there. More directly asked whether that meant subscription services are basically hitting a saturation point, and if so, wonder if that saturation point is earlier than the respective platforms thought. Okay, Piscatella confirmed. That's what the U.S. data is suggesting, at least so far. I can't say it's the same in other territories. And sure, probably on the second point, we're seeing manufacturers shift focus a bit away from pushing subs. Expanding on Piscatella's info, Tweak Town senior gaming editor Derek Strickland compiled data on how many subscribers each of the big three's proprietary services, Nintendo Online, PlayStation Plus, and Xbox Game Pass, respectively, had between 2018 and 2022, the latter year being the last time either of them publicly reported such figures. Interesting, because at this point in time, I don't think I ever had Nintendo Online. My PlayStation Plus subscription I haven't had since, oh Lord have mercy, it's been coming up on a decade at this point in time, because I had it actually before it was mandatory to play online on PS4. I had it on PS3 because they were offering some games included in that were actually worth the whatever it was at the time, $10 a month. And then I haven't had Xbox Live. Well, that just goes to show you how long it's been since the Xbox 360 days, the tail end of that generation, and I haven't been around since Game Pass got introduced, for sure. According to the resulting graph, this 5-year period saw Nintendo's subscriber base jump by 33 million users. PlayStation's by 12.5 million and Xbox by 19. However, as of 2022, all three have seen their numbers only remain roughly unchanged. With Xbox being the sole exception, with an additional 4 million subscribers between Q2 and Q3. So the games industry, as we know it, at least at the AAA level, is shifting. It really is. There is two different directions that these big studios can go. You can go the price gouging Nintendo Microsoft route, and unless you have that Nintendo goodwill or that Microsoft level of deep pockets, best of luck to you. Or you can go, for whatever reason, the EA, the AA, and the smart AAA route of taking the opportunity of looking at the bad press that the bigger players in the market are getting, willing to gamble on a lower price tag, hoping for more engagement. People that were on the fence about Mafia Old Country going, I don't know if I'd pay $70 for that, but for $50? No, I'll definitely take a look on that one. Or if you have another indie game come along like Expedition 33 or Split Fiction, and people think that, hey, these mechanics are pretty good and these characters, they're kind of fun, and this is, really really a quality game, the word of mouth spreads and you end up with 2 or 4 million players. Because what's more successful? What's more successful? A game that costs $350 million to develop and you can go ahead and have 3 million players engaged, or a game that costs $5 to $10 million and you sell 2 million copies at $40 or $50 a pop, as opposed to those 3 million players selling it at full price or on a subscription service that somebody will sign up for a month, and then after they're done wading through the bullshit, they'll go ahead and terminate their subscription. And apparently we have the data. These companies have been looking at it and going, yeah, it's time to get back to creativity. Let's hope they follow through on those inclinations. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.